Hello! Welcome to Game Over Gerkinman. I'm Gerkinman, and this is a little one-shot of a game called Wither. Who is with me today?
Oh, hey guys, it's Jess, or Namir, voice actor, let's player, and video reviewer, or maker of glorified commercials, whichever one you prefer.
Well, if you play a bad game, then you'll be able to call yourself a reviewer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we're here with a little indie gem that I stumbled upon while I was doing research, because I'm making Gerkinman Legends in RPG Maker 2003, and hey, lo and behold, here's a game called Wither, made by either an individual or a group, it's hard to say, called Rastex, from Chile, made in RPG Maker 2003. But despite being made in RPG Maker, it's not an RPG. And I sent this off to Jess a couple of weeks ago for her to play through. She actually beat it before I did. Jess, what is the deal with this little game Wither here?
Well, basically, you are playing this little man here, and at the beginning it says that you promised him 12 flowers. So you're going around collecting flowers for your dead brother.
And here's a weird flower lady.
12.
Yeah, so basically that's all the game is just going to get 12 flowers.
Yep.
Obviously the art is very influenced by the Game Boy because these tiles are taken, well, not all of them, but some of these are taken, like those dancing flowers are from Link's Awakening. And I think some of the grasses as well. And this game actually is a very heavy influence on the art being used in parts of Gerkinman Legends. Which, you know, that's neither here nor there, but that's a thing. But yeah, anyway, I was kind of very surprised that I stumbled across this because Jess has played other RPG Maker games before. She's a big fan of a game called Off, which that's quite morbid.
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing how morbid they can make something in 8-bit like this. Walking in and seeing someone hanging from a ceiling. His description of the corpse.
whenever I walked into this room for the first time, I didn't even notice it. And then, I looked around and I saw it up in the corner and I was just like, oh, Jesus.
I wasn't like, oh, Jesus. I was like, oh. But then I actually walked up to it. Oh, and these guys are like, let's just go get some beers. And they just leave him hanging there. And then you walk up to him and he says, his eyes are jumping out of his skull. And it's just like, oh. Yeah, this seems to be made by one guy all the way over in Chile. I don't know how long it took him, or if this was inspired by something that he has personally dealt with, or what. But it's interesting how they've... who knows? But it's interesting the way they've gone with such a, retro or sort of like art style. And there is music in the game, but it's not very melodic or anything. It's just kind of the somber sounds really more than anything.
I think my favorite, tune in this game. Whenever I did that, I had a heart attack because I thought I broke something. I was like, oh fuck. The music that plays whenever you're having your nightmare. Probably my favorite.
That's pretty good. I like the way that car crumples too. It's like a little thing, but it's like just a reminder that hey, you fucked up and you crashed your car.
Yep.
And
it's
you
the subtle things that lead up.
Bed. Yeah, it's full of just little things.
Yeah, it's the subtle things that lead up to the very end, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, while still being open to quite a bit of interpretation.
Definitely.
I like how everyone's just kind of like living their little lives too. This lady's waiting for a package for
her birthday present.
Her birthday day.
That was the only typo that I found in here.
Well, I've played some other RPG Maker games, and you're averaging one typo a minute in most of them.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I've only played about probably 5 RPG Maker games ever. So.
What are the ones other than this and Off that you've played?
This, Off, Lisa,
Lisa.
Palm Gets Wi-Fi, and that one that that guy sent me to do a...
Oh, yeah. How did that go?
I still haven't finished it yet.
Oh, you started?
Yeah. I did. I just, I was, well, you know, with my redoing all the stuff on my channel, it's been kind of...
That's true.
Yeah.
I guess more than anything, I guess this kind of reminds me of being like the old point-and-click adventure games. There's like these little puzzles. Like you just talk to people and they're just giving you hints. Just leaving it up to you to...
Yeah, like that guy down right there in that bottom corner.
Yeah.
He gives you, like, he doesn't tell you exactly what, but he just says 5x2, so you have to try and, you're like, 5x2.
Oh yeah, in the graveyard. And there's that guy in the library who tells you about he was reading a book on secret passages and how there's usually something wrong with the ground in front of it. And little subtle things like that.
Mm-hmm. I like what that guy says, it's kind of important.
Yeah. That's really, really clever, and it's funny how you can make a game that can be completed in so little time and it still carries a lot of weight.
Yeah.
Suck it up, AAA developers. Not everything needs to be 10 hours of shooting
that guy,
things in the face.
Do you know why?
Oh, that's a Pokemon reference. Because he looks like Gary, yeah. These sprites look a little borrowed from Pokemon. Although they've been modified, they look like they've got extra detail on them, like more shading and things.
Oh, well, yeah.
Oh, this was cool too. You have to talk to this guy like 3 times.
Yeah.
This guy talks about...
This guy tells you.
Yeah.
Flower.
I like clever little things like that.
It's nice though. It's a nice touch.
Yeah. It's a nice waterfall. Nice sprite waterfall. 3-frame. 3-frame water. just chilling.
Yep.
Yep. There you go. I like that. It's well, I guess all this part's all pretty calm and mellow, and then that opens it up to let you go into and then all of a sudden things get a little bit more morbid when we in here. Womp womp.
Yeah.
And then they just light up. They just have a smoke in there. And it's just like, oh wow, okay. Oh dear.
What's it? You have to think. Well, I mean, that's probably what people do anyway.
I just love that description. She just smokes in silence while she works on the corpses. But yeah, that's true. That's the little personality things like that is what I like those things.
Yeah.
I like the way she waits until you've had a whole cigarette before she's like, you should probably leave now before I get in trouble.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as a smoker, I can tell you it only takes about between 5 to 7 minutes to smoke a cigarette as it is.
Yeah.
So it's not like it takes
I like the way the hair moves.
Well, just like in Pokemon.
Yep.
That's kind of what it did. Did like this back and forth thing.
Here's your Lost Woods. Every game needs a Lost Woods. This is another area that's a bit dark. Oh yeah. There's a corpse being eaten by maggots and with a flower growing out of it. Yeah, it's funny how that could be like so like, oh, but at the same time it's kind of like, oh. I think that was actually because there's that forest in Japan that people tend to go to a lot to actually kill themselves. I'm sure that's what influenced that.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually watched the documentary about that.
Yeah, I watched one too. I forgot what it was called.
It was... yeah, it's like the guy, he's like a park ranger or something, I think.
Yeah, they follow him around.
I think he was. Yeah. This, that quote up at the top there. One by one till what's done is done. I friggin' love that.
Is that from something else?
It's so good. No, I don't think so. I've never heard it before this. So, I don't know.
I like this little...
And see, now here, like, whenever I was doing this part, I was like, okay, but I'm like, there's only 4 across. But then I'm like, oh, 5, okay. And then I...
I like that too. You go to the grave of the florist, and he gives you a flower as well. And here we go.
What noise is that from?
Lots of Zelda sounds in this game.
Yeah. Well, that was from Mario. But
Oh. Well, I haven't got my sound on.
the stairs are from Zelda. The door is from Mario.
That's right.
Super Mario World, actually.
Because you're playing through that, so it'll be fresh in your mind. I like that car down there with the corpses around it. Just interestingly.
Do you get it, though?
Yeah.
Do you understand why? This is the only thing that freaked me out.
Oh, strip the meat off the bone.
Face.
Oh, the face.
No, the face.
I got creeped out by things the worms were saying. The decomposing head didn't terrify me much. It's quite detailed.
I didn't notice that. If you try to go back, it tells you there's no point.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, there's 2 coin thing. I didn't understand the relevance of that, or like the significance of that.
River Styx.
Was it always 2 coins for the River Styx?
Yes.
Okay. There you go. This is the part that creeped me out. This guy's struggling on the ground here, crying out for help.
Yeah. Which, like, doesn't make sense because he's pretty much a zombie. But yeah, you just leave him there.
Yeah.
You don't even help him or anything. You just take his money and.
And I wonder if like he's supposed to be you or your brother as well. Like everything in here is just you and your brother. Multiples.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, because whenever you talk to, I mean, you didn't talk to him, but if you talk to the police officer outside of the forest, he tells you that people go in there too. People go in there, but they don't usually come back.
Yeah, this is a weird part of the game, though. I mean, like, I figure at this point you've gone into your own psyche. At least that's what I thought would happen. So it's the whole thing's about just like resolution.
Well, it's like there's so many different. Oh, there's a theory that what I gathered from it anyway, is that the guy who committed suicide in the hotel is actually you.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Considering he wrote the note about his brother or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of living life as like a ghost. And that's why people can still interact with you. Like, this is kind of like more of like a purgatory. Yeah. Sort of setting. And you going here and getting those coins to cross the river.
Closure. Finishing your unfinished business. I did get a little bit lost with this bit of level design here. I was like, what? Where? How did I get back in here again? What did I?
Well, it's because you didn't go straight down when you were supposed to.
Oh.
Right there. Oh!
Oh, yeah, because there's no indication there that it's a doorway. Other than
but now you're going
supposed to
all the way
remember.
back around.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I forgot that that's where the door was. That was like one complaint. I wish there was like a different tile there in front of the door that had like, maybe it was a little bit lighter to make it look like light was coming out of there. Because it just looks like a dead end. I know, but I worked it out. It was one of those things.
Like those ones, how they have the sand.
Yeah, just like that. Just a little, something subtle that isn't like, oh, hey, that's a thing, but something that your eye automatically goes to it, your brain just goes, there.
And look, it's the nightmare.
Back in the nightmare world.
Because this is actually, the other world.
It was interesting how the spines make up the bridges. And the wife's gone.
And there you go. That's your brother.
That's the brother, and this is the end of the game.
Yeah.
No exposition. He looks just like you as well. There you go.
So that was like kind of the thing was, this whole time, you had to get those flowers for your brother. That was kind of like what you needed to do.
Yeah, that was
to be able to cross over was to understand, come to terms with your own, with what you did and your own death. Because that man in the hospital mentions how his wife or something was hit by drunk drivers.
Yeah.
And then that's when you realize, oh, that was us.
Yeah, that's why I liked when you go to your sister's play. I assume she's your sister as well, and you try to click on your mom.
No, I think it's the brother's girlfriend.
Oh, girlfriend, yeah. But you try to sleep in your own bed.
You.
Yeah, you try to sleep in your own bed. It's like you can't sleep here yet.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's Wither. There'll be a download link in the description if you're interested in seeing it and playing it. And Join us next time for whatever it is we're playing next. I will very quickly check my thing. It is something. It'll be something. It'll be good. You're gonna love it. Something a little bit more upbeat. I guarantee it. So join us then. Bye, everybody.